Okay, guys. So today we have with us Harshwardhan Yadav, and he did his btech from Nirma University and from Computer Science branch, and is right now pursuing masters in University of Pennsylvania in Computer and Information Science. So he also did his internship at Samsung. So yeah, let us know how he got into University of Pennsylvania and what was the process that he followed.
Yeah. So hey everyone. So I'm Harshwardhan. I'm native resident of Ahmedabad. And as he said, Kanak said, I did my undergrad at Nirma University in computer science and engineering, and I'm currently pursuing my master's in CIS at University of Pennsylvania. I did not even submit my GRE and TOEFL score to UPenn. Why? Because I thought like I'm not even gonna get admission into UPenn. Why waste my money sending my scores to UPenn? Something here, plagiarism check is too hard. So if you see from somewhere, if they would come to know directly, and what they do is that if they come to know, they don't tell you right away. They monitor you, and if they see that you have done the same thing 2 3 times, they will keep on giving you good grades in intermediary exams and homeworks. But in the final exam, they would just without any reason tell you that you are failed. And if you
Oh.
go, they will say that we failed you because we found that you plagiarized, and this is the proof of plagiarism.
Yeah. So your CGPA was 9.16 and your GRE score was.
326, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, sure. So, like, first question is, why did you choose masters over like doing placements here? Like, you had offer or something,
So
or like, why did you go for masters?
yeah, so firstly, there were two primary reasons that I chose masters for. Firstly, uh, firstly, I talked to many of my friends, right, like what their plans were and stuff. So many of them wanted to pursue masters only. They didn't even care about placements. So I just talked to them, like get got to know the benefits of pursuing masters in US, and and I gave it a thought that okay, what are the actual benefits of going to US? So primarily, the compensation that you get for work you do right here, right? So and you're not going to earn that much in India that you are going to earn here in US. Uh, so that was the primary reason that I thought that okay, let's give it a shot. Let's try to what we say get a better job, a high paying job, and then we see where we go from here. Secondly, I also wanted to get some higher degree education because in my undergrad it was Corona, right? So for 2 years, like the quality of education that was provided to us was not optimum, right? So I wanted to get a master's degree that also helps me to get to higher managerial positions in what we say in industries as well.
Hmm.
So even so, if you want to go to certain position in a company, you need some kind of higher education with you.
Yes, true.
So yeah, these two were the primary reasons for me going for a master because better job opportunities that are here in US. But yeah, I mean, I just weighed that why do I want to do masters and why do I want to not do a placement in here? So I got a placement actually. I got a pre-placement offer from Samsung,
Oh,
but by that time I had decided that okay, no, let's do masters. So I had to reject that pre-placement offer from SRIB and then come here. So yeah, you can say that.
but yeah, getting offer from Samsung is a great thing, and you went for
Yeah,
masters. Yeah, that was great.
yeah, yeah.
And next question, like many of them us have, is like, why did you choose USA over any other country? So, what was that reason?
Yeah. So like everyone has their own reasons, first of all. So I would not like to say like this country is better than other one. But for me, like I'm a CS major, right? So for me, it was like I want to pursue CS. US is a hub of CS. So why not go to US and pursue because all the MNCs, their headquarters are based in US, right? You are also you also get better research opportunities if you do like better. I mean better in the sense you are funded. Yeah, the fund for research here in US is like too much. So you get better research opportunities. Obviously, got an admission into Ivy League. So that was also a major factor. So all these things like better research opportunities, a CS hub present in US, and I would say good, well-paying job opportunities, everything included, I decided, okay, let's do US.
Okay, okay. So, when did you start preparing for like this? For like we have to give GRE and TOEFL IELTS also. When did you start preparing? Like first year, second year, or
Hmm. So I remember in my fourth semester of study, maybe that was 2021, I guess. Yeah. So in 2021, in my fourth semester from January end, me and my friends, we all together started preparing for GRE, and we prepared till like August. So it was an 8 month preparation, but it was not like a full-time GRE prep for 8 months. It was like during the ongoing classes, I focused more on classes. Just attended the so I took consultancy from Renaissance. That is like a consultancy services in Ahmedabad. So they also teach you the concepts of GRE. So I just attended their classes, understood what all concepts are present in GRE, prepared for 5 months, like on a secondary basis. Then in the next 3 months, when summer vacation hit, so I did GRE almost full time. So I like remember like putting every day at least 6 hours into my GRE prep, because learning English was hard for me. I mean, because that specific GRE English is pretty hard.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it took me 8 months, but primarily I did for 3 months. But yeah, in those 3 months I prepared full time, and gave it in August. Secondly, TOEFL I gave in this past year, 2022, in August itself. But TOEFL was like a 1 month prep. I've even seen people give it in like a week's prep. So TOEFL is not hard. If you have done GRE, you are gonna do good in TOEFL. You just probably need 2 weeks or 3 weeks for good preparation in TOEFL. Yeah.
And what's the debate about like should I give TOEFL or IELTS? So, how is it preferred?
Yeah. So what was I suggested by this Renaissance consult? If you are going to US, then TOEFL is probably a better option, because TOEFL is accepted almost everywhere in US. Even Canada and other places also TOEFL is accepted. But I have generally seen a trend between people, like those who go to US generally tend to give TOEFL, and those who go to Canada or somewhere else, they tend to give IELTS. So
So,
it's just depending on where you want to
so
go.
if you had given IELTS, like, was there any disadvantage? Like, if the college that you are in right now, Pennsylvania, so would you get admission if you have given IELTS? Or...
I mean, yeah, as of University of Pennsylvania, so I mean, I didn't even submit my GRE and TOEFL scores here because they were waived off.
Okay, okay, okay.
For just this, I guess, this academic year. So, because this academic year and maybe the past one as well, due to Corona and stuff, there are many things changing and updating for each and every university. Not all universities have their GRE and TOEFL requirements. So, yeah, I mean, but yeah, TOEFL is pretty standard. IELTS would many also accept IELTS. It's not that IELTS is not accepted. You can give IELTS as well, but yeah, it's just your preference.
Yeah,
So
so,
it basically.
so what's your deadline? So,
Mhm.
if I have heard
Yeah.
like the early you submit your process, like if you submit your
Mhm,
application
mhm,
till October or November, the more beneficial
mhm.
it is. So, is it true
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah. It's definitely true. So let me tell you, if you are submitting to universities, you need to do it as soon as possible. The reason is many universities. I mean, they tell that we do not do rolling basis or stuff like that. But many universities, they do rolling based admission. So what is rolling based admission is that a person who, it's first come first served. So a person whose application is going to come first, he's going to get admission first. So many of my friends, they have experienced this. So many of the friends who submitted late, they didn't get into admission into same college. Like, let me tell you Arizona's case only. Many of them did not get admission into Arizona just because they were late. And many of them who had like everything mediocre as compared to other candidates, they got admission first because they submitted their application first. And this was the case for almost all of the universities. So the earlier you submit, so I would say what we were told, and even I did it, was like you need to submit everything by let's say November end or something like that.
okay.
Yeah, mid December, previous year, mid December or November end. that should be your ideal range where you want to submit, because Arizona starts giving you admits by December end or January beginning.
Okay.
So yeah,
So,
that's the
mhm.
Mhm.
So apart from GRE and TOEFL, what is the other process of application like I have SOP and LOR? So can you give some idea on that?
Mhm. So yeah, so firstly LOR. So there is this thing that we were told that firstly the thing that matters the most are the cutoffs, right? So there are many cutoffs in each university, almost each university. Like there is a GRE cutoff, TOEFL cutoff, and a CGPA cutoff. These three things should be there with you. So you should have good GRE score, a good TOEFL score, and primarily the best effort you should give is to maintaining your CGPA, because for masters they give too much importance to CGPA. Sometimes what happens is that if your CGPA is good and your GRE is less, then they will they will still allow you to go further into process.
Mhm.
And the same thing happens for other things. If your CGPA is a bit low but your GRE score is good, then also they will allow you. So these three things should be taken care of. Next comes LOR in preference. So you should have LORs from good reputed place. Like you should have LORs from professors. So maybe if you are quite late, then maybe just go and ask to professor that I am applying to university. Mostly they are very friendly, but they have to give LORs to many people, right? So it's not like you are going, because on our behalf professors have to submit LOR to universities.
Yes.
So what happens is that if you go at the last moment, then they are probably having a list of, because if they give LOR to 10 people, they have to submit 100 LORs, because each person probably applies on an average to 8 to 10 universities. And
Mm-hmm.
to each university, if they have to submit LOR, that is 100 LORs already. So
Yes.
many professors even tells employ someone sometimes that you submit this person's LOR on our behalf. So you need to get LOR early, start working under some professor so that he is able to give you LOR. uh, I mean that increases your chances, because you have worked under that professor, done some work, so he'd prefer you over someone else. So
Mm-hmm.
get LORs done in the first place. Get rid of not rid of, I mean get them done, sorted out. Second is industrial LOR. You need to make sure that you do get industrial LOR. Maybe whoever mentor is your mentor is there in this internships or anything else. You need to get get him to give you an LOR. Like start buttering him. Like I would want an LOR. Sometimes they want to give LOR, but there are company policies, right? There are company policies that sometimes companies do not give their LOR on company letterhead. The best thing you
Mm-hmm.
can get is to get a company LOR on their letterhead. That would give the authenticity of that LOR. But if it doesn't happen, then too you should keep on asking them to submit their LOR. What you would do is that you would write LOR on for you yourself on their behalf, and then you would just tell them to review it once and
Mm-hmm.
submit it. It's not like that you won't get any confirmation, because if they submit your LOR, you would get confirmation that that guy has submitted your LOR, but you won't get to see what they have written actually in this in your LOR. So
Mm-hmm.
if you create your LOR, then you should probably hope that whatever you did, you submitted to that guy, he submitted the same LOR, didn't change anything in between to
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, but get done with LORs. Next comes SOP. SOP is just like an extended version of your resume, like whatever you did, not resume exactly, but whatever you did, what was your motivation. So the best thing that helps you in SOP is like you should be pretty clear that where do you want to go, why do you want to go there, what is your focus in your what is your future focus, like whether you want to pursue a PhD, a research work, or whether you want to work as a developer, like you want to get industry experience. So there are two things here. You want to go into research study of field, or you want to go into industry based course. There is specification in many almost all universities to submit an application in these two. So you should be pretty clear. You should tailor your SOP according to that. So shouldn't be like you want to do research, but you are submitting the research based background, your research based background, to a course which is like industry focused. And if you are want to do industry focus, then you should it's good to have research experience, but you should try to include those things as well that show that okay, you are able to do project works, you have worked in agile environments in industries and stuff like that. So yeah, so you do need to tailor SOP according to that, because after CGPA they see your SOP and then they go to LOR. But it's tougher to get LOR and easier to write SOP.
Mhm.
So if you see that how much time it takes to create all of them, so yeah, SOP is easier. Getting LOR is somewhat what we say stressful.
Yeah. And I've heard like if you want to get some scholarships, you need to write it down into SOP itself. So is it true, or is there any other process to get scholarships
I
and all?
mean, I mean, I'm not like I didn't write anything in my SOP to get scholarship, but anyways I ended up getting a scholarship from, let's say, Arizona University. They give so the universities, if they want to give you scholarship, they will like give you in their offer, like before you accept their offer, right? They'll give you in their offer letter itself that we are going to give you this scholarship. For Arizona I got, maybe for Penn State also I got. So yeah, so I don't think so. The SOP should not include this thing that you want scholarship. Maybe if you want to include that, maybe include a line or so. But SOP should majorly focus on your on your interests, your strengths, and what you want to do ahead in future. That should be clear in your SOP.
Okay, so
Scholarships
they
they will
give.
give you if your
Mhm.
metrics are good. Yeah.
Okay, so based on your like whatever the criteria they have, they give the scholarship by their
And
own. You don't.
mostly public universities, yeah, public universities give you. Private universities it is tough, or maybe they don't even give you any scholarship. In private universities, in public universities what happens is that if you do a teaching assistant job or some research assistant, then sometimes they waive off your tuition fee.
Okay.
So you just have to manage your living expenses then, but that would be manageable if you are doing RA or TA, because they pay you
Okay.
as well.
Mhm.
So yeah,
So
public
the
universities are economically very beneficial. Remember is that I got $5,000 scholarship. Five
okay,
thousand
okay,
somewhere. Yeah. My another friend, Harshil Sangvi, he got like around $10,000 scholarship from Arizona.
okay,
Mm.
okay. So and now next coming to university selection. So what criteria should one keep in mind while selecting the universities?
Yeah, as I said before, you should be very focused on where do you want to go, right? What do you want to do? So I'll tell you, people, if you have heard the name of University of Southern California, so that gives admission basic on the basis of like CGPA primarily. If you have CGPA, a good CGPA, you are bound to get into USC. So, but one of my friends, he was pretty clear that he wanted to do AI. So he focused his entire studies on AI, did projects in AI, and applied to USC in AI as well. Even though he had like CGPA of less than 8, like in between 7.5 or 8, somewhere in that range, he still got an admission into USC AI.
Oh,
So if you should be very focused where you want to go. Uh, I mean, yeah. So and for me personally, I took the consultancy services as well. So they also like suggested me that these are the universities. Then I did some background research on like these are the universities. Okay, what do they have in common? What are other universities that provide this? So for you, your future goal, if your future goals are clear, where if you want to work in industry, then maybe prefer some industry, some university that gives better opportunities going into the industry. Like if you prefer to work in an industry and you do, and let's say you take admission into Penn State, which is on East Coast, right? And you also got an admit from Arizona, which is on West Coast around near California. So Penn State is the higher ranked university than Arizona. You would get good research opportunities. But the problem is that for job opportunities, maybe you would, even though Penn State is higher ranked university, you would have better gone to Arizona because that is closer to California. So you would probably get a good job opportunity earlier and easier and easily in Arizona as compared to Penn State. So these decisions, and if you wanted to do research, you would go to Penn State. So these are the things that you need to keep in mind, what you want to do, and then get knowing pros and cons of each university, whether this supports your goal or not. Yeah.
okay. So and now coming to co-curricular activities, like while mentioning those in SOP, like does that even affect like if you have many
I
co-curricular
mean,
activities? But because I've heard,
I
if you go to USA, they see all other activities apart from
yeah,
uh,
yeah, yeah. So I mean, I guess in USA this is true. I mean, I didn't have many co-curricular activities. I had only almost only, I mean, curricular activities and co-curricular related to curricular activities. I didn't have any those kind of experiences uh, like taking part into events or managing events and stuff like that. So, but I guess they do see what other events you take part into. Don't stress out much about it. It helps, but that is not your primary goal here, right? Because you are going to do masters, you are not going to do like, let's say, undergrad. So
Mm.
maybe for undergrad they would see that, okay, this guy did this in school, he was this much active in social activities as well. But I guess for masters, they what they see is that whether you want to study or not, whether you want to go into depth of knowledge or not. So don't stress about it. But yeah, I guess this they might have having a short para, having a short para of it, like maybe 4 5 line paragraph won't affect, like won't affect means won't tarnish your SOP. It would be helpful only. Yeah.
Yeah. And what is the apply reject ratio? Like how many universities should one apply, and basically
I
on
mean,
average, how many rejects do you get?
yeah, like apply accept reject ratio is completely dependent on university to university basis. I mean, like I would say apply to 10 universities. That was what the standard among all our friends, and what was suggested to us as well, that you should apply to 3 universities that you are damn sure that you will get admission into that university. You should apply to let's say 4 universities that are mediocre for you. So let's say mediocre in the sense like you feel like, okay, I have a 50 to 60% chance in getting into that university, and 3 universities should be there at least which you feel like I have less than 20% chance in getting into that university. So for me that was UPenn. uh, I like as I told earlier in this call as well, that I did not even submit my GRE and TOEFL score to UPenn. Why? Because I thought like I'm not even gonna get admission into UPenn. Why waste my money sending my scores to UPenn? That was the primary reason I did not apply, did not send my scores, but I got admit. After that, they asked for an official proof for my GRE score, not my TOEFL score as well. So then I sent my GRE score after I had accepted admission and got everything done. Just to sort something out in my admission process, they just said that, okay, you send your GRE score. So yeah, so even if I had like very less hope of getting into high ambitious universities, I applied. So you need to take 2 to 3 universities that you are able to risk on. Like, okay, let's take a risk, because many people get admissions into higher universities. Like I told about that USC guy, he was not at all like, he was not at all thinking about getting into USC. It was for him, it was like, if I get into USA, I'm rejecting everyone. So yeah, so you need to take some risk in applying to universities. As of admits and rejects, so I got 7 admits, I would say. Yeah, like 2 places: Georgia Tech, Georgia Institute of Technology, and where UMass Amherst. I got reject. And Georgia Tech requires you, if you are applying to Georgia Tech requires you to have good industry experience. And this UMass Amherst, it was like seats were filled already, so we were rejected. And then NYU Courant, which was my final university, I was put on a wait list. I was put on a wait list, so I rejected it because by the time I already got UPenn, and in USC also I applied, but my CGPA was around 9.16. Maybe other people in industry and other universities, they get good CGPA easily. So I mean, this is controversial, but anyways, so I got admit, but for spring intake this 2024. But I had got you into UPenn, so I rejected that as well. So yeah, that was apply reject ratio. It depends on your many other factors, university to university dependent.
Yeah. So your CGPA was 9.16 and your GRE score was,
326, yeah.
and your TOEFL score
It was 117, I guess. Yeah, out of
117.
120. Mhm.
Okay, okay, great. And so next question is, so let us come to your experience right now. So right now, how are you feeling in US while studying into university? Like, how is it different from what you studied in India and all? So,
Yeah, I mean, experience right now is very very good, because like in India, firstly, there is too much plagiarism, right? So we like in India, what happens is that We all support each other, so we don't put too much effort into learning something. Yet plagiarism check is too hard. So if you see from somewhere, if they would come to know directly, and what they do is that if they come to know, they don't tell you right away. They monitor you, and if they see that you have done the same thing 2 3 times, they will keep on giving you good grades in intermediary exams and homeworks. But in the final exam, they would just without any reason tell you that you are failed. And if you
Oh.
go, they will say that we failed you because we found that you plagiarized, and this is the proof of plagiarism. So these are the kind of strategies they use. They give you harder problems to solve, so you need to like think more and more about those problems. Even I mean, I'm talking about this current Penn University, but almost this is the same in entire US. So you are, and they keep special teaching hours with teaching assistants, and professor also gives teaching hours every apart from classes. They're dedicated to like helping you out. So they say that like, okay, we are giving you harder problems to solve. We are giving so they give us the opportunity to learn, and they provide ample resources for us to learn from it. Then it is on to us that what whether we want to learn or not. So that aspect is good. uh, and I would say, yeah, I mean, you get assignments and project work every week, d- almost every week or bi-weekly. So you are constantly engaged into your course. There are quizzes weekly, so they help, so you constantly keep on revising stuff as well as you go. It is not like in India, like it also depends on you whether you want, how do you want to prepare. But if you prepare continuously, you would get an opportunity to stay with the course throughout the semester and not feel overwhelmed by the course
Mhm.
sometimes. Yeah, so that's very
And
good experience.
what's the pattern like? Is it 1 year you study and 1 year the last second year is the whole year is internship or what? What is it like?
No, it also depends on university to university what that university allows. So for University of Pennsylvania, I have to do let's say 4 semesters. Like I have to do 4 semesters. So I would get summer internship. Some programs they let the people do co-op as well. So co-op is like you do six like summer internship, and then spring also you are doing internship. But then you have to do one or two courses more in other semesters to balance out your what we say
Mhm,
time.
mhm.
But my course does not, I guess, does not allow co-op. I mean, I'm not perfectly sure, but yeah, it almost does not allow co-op. So there is this thing that it is completely course dependent. But yeah, it's one summer semester that you get to do internship. Then the next year, like after the end of second year of your study, you have to get job, and or maybe like OPT is there, so that you have to do.
And till now, did you get any idea about how easy it is to get internship and placement as compared to here? Like here we had
Yeah,
placement cell, right,
yeah.
for our help, but is there
Yeah,
any
yeah.
placement
So
cell there
it's
or?
it's very hard. It's very hard as compared to India. And I mean, no, not hard. I mean, in case of competition, like competition is without a doubt more in India. There's no saying any arguing about that. But I would say placement cells in India, like in Nirma as well, are better because they bring company to your campus, right? And that company is going to focus. That company is going to decide, like if your placement cell is bringing them, that company has in mind that we want to select 5 to 10 people from this college itself.
Mhm,
So you have to make sure that for that interviews you are in that group, where in that selection group criteria that company has decided for you. So
mhm,
it's easier for you to get into jobs. But it's like on campus versus off campus, right? On campus it's very easy, off campus it's very hard because your resume probably doesn't get accepted in many universities, sorry, in many companies. Here it is completely off campus. There are placement helpful, like there are career services center, but they would just help you with like some basic things like how to tailor your resume, where to apply according to your interests and stuff like that. But they won't help you in that sense. Like a company is coming, it is dedicatedly taking some students from your university, and you have a chance to give that test, irrespective
mhm,
whether your resume is accepted or not.
mhm.
So it's all completely off campus here. So it's hard in that aspect because what we see is that before you get an internship, almost the trend is like you probably would have applied anywhere between 100 to 300 positions. before you land an internship or a job. So this is the trend that most people I've heard and seen. They everyone tells that this is generally the trend. You everyone does that in any
Mm-hmm.
university here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. And yeah, so any advice of how, well, like what did you do differently that you got into Ivy League as compared to normal college, or like any final advice that you would like to give to juniors?
Yeah, I mean, Ivy League, as I said, Ivy League. I this is the only Ivy League that I applied because I felt like, okay, this Ivy League. I mean, I was suggested based upon my metrics, and so consultancy services that I took, they were really good. They suggested me that, okay, you if you want to try an Ivy League, try UPenn. I mean, after getting UPenn, I and seeing other students wherever they went, I thought like even if I had applied to one or two more, I probably would have got admission into it. But anyways, so differently, I mean, I knew that did not want to do research, but still, it was like FOMO for me that everyone was doing research. So I did a research paper anyway. But even that didn't got published by the time I submitted my applications. I was just involved in doing research, so I wrote that about in my SOP. Primarily, I would feel like my internship experience at Samsung helped me a lot because I tailored my SOP in such a way that I made it clear that this is my internship experience. These are the courses that I've done. These are the extracurricular Udemy courses that I've done, and these are my focus areas. What do I want to do?
Mm-hmm.
So my SOP was clear. Like my CGPA was good. It was like 9 above is anyway anything 9 above is good. GRE score was good, TOEFL score was good. So I guess my initial cutoff metrics were good. Then when my SOP goes to professor, then my SOP should be clear. So I guess keeping a clear SOP, what I wanted to do, having good metrics in these exams and stuff, everything helped. It's not like I did 15 research papers because I've seen people do many research papers, but they still didn't get into good university that they were hoping to get into. So everything helps. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Yeah, so it was very great and informative session. Thank you, Harshvardhan, for
Thank you,
coming
Kanak.
into this podcast.
It was any time for Kanak. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Yeah, so great. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.